A huge welcome, everyone. It's Janice here again. I've been wanting to try out this method for ages, and I have finally got round to it a couple of weeks ago. So it's using Elmer's glue with disposable napkins. So this certainly isn't, I'm not the first one that's done this. I've actually watched other videos. I cannot remember who I watched, but there's others that have come before me for sure and done this method. So these are just some of the papers that I've done using the napkins and the glue, and I've made quite a few things, and I am just so astounded at the strength and the durability of how these turn out. You can see how I've scrunched that up, and it's tough. It's really tough. And I've made loads of tags for gifts and things like that. And I've made purses and, just a few different things. So you're going to need a piece of plastic, some Elmer's glue mixed with water to a honey consistency. And I've just put some aside and I put some ground coffee in to give, if I want to use it as an antique sort of vibe. Always remember to take the backing off your napkin and don't throw them away, use them. And then lay your napkin down over the glue and take a soft brush and brush the entire napkin. Don't leave any gaps, because if there is a gap, that's going to just, it's going to end up tearing. So make sure that, go over it again if you have to. Make sure your whole napkin is nicely covered. And then just clean the sides, just so that as it dries, you don't get that overlap of dried glue that goes into like a skin. And then set aside for a few hours and just let it dry. I've even used a hair dryer when I've been in a sort of rush to do it. So this is one that I did, and it's dried. And you'll see how easily it's pulling off the plastic. And that's just the fact that I didn't clean the edges nicely. So that's just that skin that has also dried. But it's really tough. And my brain was just going in overdrive what I could do and use these for. So for journal work, it would be awesome. But I've made some really interesting things. So I made some cards, and I put an inner piece in. But you can see that I've used a machine. I used my sewing machine there, and I did. That's how I joined it. And I just used an old tea bag to give that piece a bit of an antique look. But I've made a few cards. Some of them I've sewn with my sewing machine. Others I've just punched some holes in and put a ribbon. But they're very pretty, and of course people are always fascinated when I give them one. And this is just a little purse that I made for my tissues. And yeah, I've also just sewn along the sides, but you can see, I've had it in my bag now for quite a while. And then this was just another bag that I made, and it's really more for the beach, because the last time I went, I got sand into that little section there, and I had to take it for repairs. So I just lined this, and I pop my phone into that when I go to the beach, and it's safe. And this was just a pouch, a candle pouch that I made, and also sewn up the sides with my machine. And then I just took the same napkin and I covered 2 candles. But you know what? It's just such a nice gift, and also for flea markets. It's just different. And of course, you can find napkins that people love, with birds on or whatever their vibe is. So I've had incredible fun with it, and I just think that there's just so much more that you could even, do. But I hope you've enjoyed it, and give it a shot. You're going to love it. And thank you so much for watching. And please can I ask you to subscribe and like the video. It just helps us grow as a channel, and I will be consistently uploading new videos. Thank you so much for watching.